Okay, even to do this job minimally, you will need these items. It's 2 back brake plates. These are Dorman. It came with some hold downs and rubber boots for the emergency brake arms. A spring kit. 2 of these seals. Part number on the 04 F250 Super Duty. With the brake calipers in the rear on this one. And a set of shoes. This stuff, to buy the factory equivalent to this stuff, was 4 times what I had in this. 4 times the price of this aftermarket stuff. So went that route. We'll see how long these last. I'd say you could write on that, stand as that is, I guess. Alright, it's time to assemble it. Assemble the stuff to this or put it on there. It'll be a lot easier. Emergency brake linkage was froze up on the side. I need to break it loose, and I'm gonna clean that spindle up and paint it and straighten that linkage up. This is supposed to hinge in that. It's stuck. Have to get that freed up. Emergency brake did apply to stay on with something like that. Working on it. Got this emergency brake arm freed up. Took a drill brush and cleaned it up. Put some grease in all the nooks and crannies. Then wipe the excess off. That was froze up just a few minutes ago. I'm going to take a tape off this seal area and run a drill brush over all this rust. Then paint it with some of this dual paint primer. I ground the loose scale off of it. I taped off the sealing area and chipped away any scale near the sealing area. I'm going to go ahead and paint it. I taped that off. Just rag up against it. Keep the overspray off the axle. Looks a little better now. I'll let that dry while I'm assembling the back brake plate hardware. First thing I did was knock them big bolts out of this. Now I'll just get this cover knocked off. It's kind of hung up in the center here. Looks like the hardware is going to need a paint job too. I brushed it off, wire brushed it off. I'll go ahead and paint it up. Like that. I started taking the seal out. I'm going to go ahead and finish taking it out. I recommend somebody else does this face down. This bearing's pretty heavy and it'll come out of there. It's also got a slinger in there. Yep, it's half a seal, right? It looks like the race is serviceable. This slinger goes with these spires pointing toward the bowlers.
Superstore is proud to support the American worker. Products that are designed and built here in the USA mean something to us, and we believe it means something.
Find me a lint-free rag.
From all across our great country together with one united cause to support American workers and American factories. Within the I America collection, you will find so.
Slinger down in there. And the new seal. Seems good enough. The slinger's centered. Never have too much grease. I do know these holes have got to be Loctite, so I'm going to spray them out with some brake cleaner to get any 90 weight out of it. Good brake cleaner that flashes off. I think Ford's did away with this seal, so now it gets siliconed to seal it. Alright. Knock the bolts back through. They're splined to catch in the heavy steel and hold this cover. So the splines bite into the heavy steel part and holds this cover down to the heavy cast iron part that I painted. I'm going to paint the bolt heads too. I had the best luck of supporting this side with like a deep well 17mm socket and putting the head of this in a press and pressing the spline head down into this casting so that there's not so much pulling on those big bolts on the back of the rear end housing that holds this on. So the splines are already pressed this cover flat too. And I can go ahead and install the brake shoes on there while this housing's been held down.